Hello and welcome. This video is going to be a two-part video. There's going to be a part 1. In part 1, I'm going to be using the create command of the DDL. The DDL stands for Data Definition Language. In this part 1 of the video, I'll be creating two tables. One of the table will have a constraint. In the second part, I'll be creating a sequence. Sequencing are very important. They are useful in automatic row numbering. Before we create the table, there are a few guidelines that must be followed. The table names must begin with a letter. They are 1 to 30 characters long. They can contain A to Z in character, upper or lowercase. They can contain numbers 0 to 9, contain a negative, a $sign, or a hash sign. They cannot be duplicate names of objects within the same schema. I'm in the HR schema. I cannot create a table name if that name already exists within the schema. Cannot use reserved words in Oracle. For example, I can't create a table name with the word select or from or where. So any words that are reserved in Oracle can't be used for a table name. I have got Toad for Oracle editor opened. I'll be using this to create the tables in SQL. So to begin, when creating tables, you need to specify the word create, followed by the word table, followed by the schema. This is optional if you're already within the same schema. I'm already in the HR schema, so I don't really need to specify HR, but I will just for good practice and put dot and then followed by the table name. When you place a dot next to a word, it kind of like triggers this box to come up. This box kind of like lists the tables already available within the schema. So you just click anywhere to exit. So I put HR and followed by the table names, Sal grade, okay, and then followed by open and close brackets, and then in between is where we'll write the columns. Okay, so I'll just create a space here to, there you go, to create some space, and then do a tab just to indent it to make it more readable. So the first column will be grade, followed by the data type and the value of the data type. I want this one to have 6 bytes, followed by a comma. The next column will be min sal. I want this to be a number with a precision of 8 and a scale of 2, followed by comma. What this means that the number in this column can contain up to 8, can store up to 8 digits, and with a decimal place of 2. So any data that goes in here can be up to 8 digits and can have a decimal of 2 places. That's what that means. So the next column will be max sal. I'll give this a data type of number, give it the same precision of 8 and the scale of 2. Okay, so when writing the columns, you need to place a comma after each line, but apart from the last line. This tells the query that you're done. Okay, so I didn't place a comma here because I'm not doing any more, so that's all the columns finished. When I'm done, you put a semicolon after the last bracket here just to tell the query that you are done. If I click execute, I should have a message on the bottom saying table created. So I hit the execute sign. So if you look down there, there you go. See, it says table created. That's the first table done. The second table I will create is called destination. So this time I will create it without the HR schema because I'm already in the schema. So I'll start with the word create and then the word table, followed by the table name I want to create, destination. Okay, and then followed by open and close brackets. Then use the tab key just to indent. So the first column I want to create will call destination underscore ID. I want this to have a data type of number. I want the value to be 6. Place a comma there. The next column I want will be city. I'll make this voucher 2 with a value of 25 bytes, and I'll place a comma there. The final column I want will be country. I'll make this a voucher 2 with a value of say 45 bytes. If you notice, I've not placed a comma there because that's the end of the column. I'm not creating anymore. What I want to do is create a constraint. A constraint means that it enforces a rule on that column. So the constraint I want to create, I don't want the value to be null. So to create a constraint, you start with the word constraints. I can't spell constraint. Okay, notice it hasn't turned blue. That means it's wrong. I missed out the S. Constraint. There you go. It's turned blue, so I'm right. So type in the word constraint followed by the name of the constraint. I want this to be called cty underscore name underscore nn, and the constraint will be not null. That means the value cannot be null, cannot be empty. That's what it means. Then I place a comma there and put a semicolon there, and that's my script or query written to create the second table with a constraint. So if I hit execute, there you go, table created there. Alright, so that's my 2 tables created, one with a constraint, one without a constraint. I hope this video has been useful. In this video we created 2 sets of table, one with a constraint and one without a constraint. In the part 2 of this video I'll be creating a sequence.